In life, pain and challenges are inevitable and are going to happen. We all need skills to help us cope with daily challenges and to help us find direction in inevitable times. Some people may not have these skills. Even though a lot of people have not heard of dialectical behavioral therapy, also known as DBT, it is one of the most helpful therapies out there for helping those who do not know or understand how to use their skills to refrain from behaviors and troubles. I myself have a history of self-harm because I did not understand how to deal with my emotions or how to utilize coping skills when I was younger. DBT was not a therapy that was offered to me, but what I know now would have helped a lot back then. I also now work in a group home, which is a dialectical behavioral therapy home, where we help consumers who suffer from these struggles to learn how to use their skills and to succeed and eventually move out on their own. Today I will define what dialectical behavioral therapy is, tell you how the therapy was created and the purpose of it, as well as I will also discuss the 4 categories of skills that are taught to help with coping skills and utilization of them. Dialectical behavioral therapy is considered to be a talking therapy that is individualized to each person depending on their needs and their levels, and it's highly structured. It has to be run properly. Dialectical, the definition of it is acting through opposing forces, and the main dialectic in dialectical behavioral therapy is the opposing strategies of acceptance and change. This therapy is based on a cognitive behavioral therapy, and then they adjusted it for individuals who express and experience their emotions more intensely, according to the Institute for Girls. The goal of DBT is to replace troubled behaviors with skills to help control these emotions and the possible behaviors for the outcomes. A psychologist named Marsha Einem was the founder of dialectical behavioral therapy, and she created it in the late 1980s. She herself also suffered from the reasons that this was created. It was originally created for borderline personality disorder. She was hospitalized on several occasions before successfully overcoming it herself. According to Comer's Fundamentals of Abnormal Psychology textbook, dialectical behavioral therapy is now used to treat a variety of disorders such as substance abuse, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and eating disorders. It is now classified as the gold standard of therapy, and it is the choice therapy for most places. Now that I've explained what dialectical behavioral therapy is, I will now discuss the categories of skills that the therapy itself teaches individuals to utilize when they're in distress. According to Skills Training Manual for treating borderline personality disorder, one of the goals of dialectical behavioral therapy is to help individuals have the knowledge of many skills to utilize in challenging times. There are 4 categories of skills involved in dialectical behavioral therapy. The first one is the mindfulness skills. These skills help increase awareness, attention, and control over the emotions, thoughts, and behaviors that come from stressful situations. These are distractive situations like closing your eyes and counting back from 10 to 1 without thinking or doing anything else, or sometimes just closing your eyes and focusing on the sounds that you hear. The next skill is emotion regulation. This has 3 goals, and it's to understand one's emotions, to reduce vulnerability, and to decrease emotional suffering. These are self-soothing skills where, like brushing your hair, massages, any kind of pampering for yourself almost. The next skill taught is interpersonal effectiveness. This teaches relationship building, communication skills to properly communicate, balancing demands between wants and needs, and understanding the difference between wants, needs, demands, and then finally self-respect. These are most important, especially with the people who need these therapies, because communication is not always the strongest. Their relationships tend to they're really strained. They don't quite understand any kind of separation once they're in a relationship. And self-respect is a big one because they may not always be able to say no when they need to actually say no. Today I've explained what dialectical behavioral therapy is, its history, and its purpose. I have also discussed the 4 categories of skills that are taught and utilized by these individuals. As I said in the beginning, even though a lot of people have not heard of dialectical behavioral therapy, it is one of the most helpful therapies created to help those that do not know or understand how to cope with daily situations. In closing, the creation of dialectical behavioral therapy has changed many lives of people who may not have thought that there was hope, and it's still remaining a successful therapy today.